Good evening and welcome back to Sportshire. I'm your host, Griff McClellan, and in today's episode, we will dive into the FIFA World Cup. First, let's discuss Argentina and Portugal, two household names led by supposedly the two greatest soccer players in the world, Lionel Messi of Argentina and Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal. Both players they were eliminated early, but they still have a combined total of 0 World Cup championship wins. It was surprising to me how both teams had early exits. And the question remains, do they have enough gas left in the tank for future World Cups? The next World Cup in Qatar in 2022, who knows? Right now, Messi is 31, Ronaldo is 33. Who knows? We'll see. But it could be that both players end up with 0 World Championship wins. So are they really the greatest? Who knows? Anyways, let's move on from that. Next, I'd like to talk about France, one of the biggest stories this tournament. How about them? They have played really well right now. Right now, they look like the team to beat. We'll get to them later about the championship round, but let's reflect on their biggest moments they've had so far. They have knocked off Argentina, as I just mentioned, in a thrilling 4-3 victory. Argentina made it close in the end, but it wasn't enough. And overall, Argentina just wasn't great this year like they've been in the past. They were okay, but they just weren't strong enough as they've been in the past. France knocked off Uruguay, led by Luis Suarez. Okay, timeout. Luis Suarez, I'm talking to you right now. What's with the biting? Come on. That's really unsportsmanlike, and as a result, no one's going to be rooting for you. I bet most people were rooting for France, am I right? Anyways, and then France knocked off Belgium yesterday as well. What a team they've been. Unfortunately, they lost yesterday. It was a heartbreaking loss, 1-0, but Belgium, let's talk about them for a second. What a win they had over Japan. That was one of the best games of the tournament, or if not ever. Japan was up 2-0 in the 60th minute, and then Belgium, coming back from the dead, all of a sudden scores 3 unanswered goals to win 3-2. They scored in the 93rd minute. Unbelievable. Belgium, what an underdog story. Unfortunately, they cannot continue their run any longer, except later on in the tournament, I actually had Belgium going pretty far. I thought they were the team to beat. The reason is because they carried momentum really well, and they carried that against Brazil, their next opponent in the quarterfinals. Brazil was the odds-on favorite to win at the start of the tournament. It's interesting because Belgium outplayed them completely. And Belgium, I just thought they carried that momentum against France, but clearly not. France was the better team, and now they find themselves in the World Cup final to play either England or Croatia. Speaking of, let's discuss England for a second. What a team they've been. Led by Harry Kane, one of the best players remaining in the tournament, they've had some very memorable moments, including their shootout victory over Colombia. This one, I'd say, tops the Japan-Belgium game just because of how it ended, with the penalty kicks, but also before that, Harry Kane's penalty kick goal gave England great momentum. Then Colombia answered in 90 minutes plus stoppage time. Unbelievable tie game. And then it all comes down to the shootout. This was nerve-wracking to watch. Unfortunately for one of the teams, their great tournament run would have to come to an end on some luck or bad luck play. And it was amazing how England pulled out victorious after they looked like they were done when Colombia couldn't miss a shot in the first round of the shootout. But let's talk about penalty kicks for a second. Are they really fair? Think about this for a second. I mean, they're really fun to watch if you're a fan like I am. But for the teams, is it really fair? Is it a fair way to determine the game? They've both played their hearts out. They've both played with passion, great dedication, determination. And it all comes down to luck. Either one goalie makes a save, or he should have had a save that was so close, or one player loses the game for his team because he misses a shot. Is it really fair? I wonder. But really, if you think about it this way, what would the World Cup be like without penalty kicks? It would take away so much fun and excitement. So I think penalty kicks are great, but it is unfortunate when the team loses in the end. Let's talk about Croatia now, the other remaining semifinal team. Of the remaining teams right now, Croatia is definitely the biggest underdog. Yes, led by Luka Modric, they do have a great team. They've had a great run. They knocked off Russia, who we'll get to in a second, in a thrilling penalty kick win. Croatia right now, they're a huge underdog. You got to watch out for them. You never know. This tournament so far has been all about the underdogs, so in that sense, I would not be surprised to see Croatia come out victorious over England. But in today's matchup between England and Croatia, I think I'm going to pick England just because I feel like they are the better all-around team, and in this World Cup, it all comes down to which team has the most momentum. Who can carry that momentum? I think England right now has that momentum. Yes, I suppose Croatia does too, but I feel like England's the better team, and if I were to start a team, I'd choose Harry Kane over Luka Modric. So I would say England, personally, but that'd be an interesting championship game against France. It'll either be France-England or France-Croatia. This is a tough choice. I gotta go with, if it's France-England, I think I'd pick England. Yeah, France and England, they've both been dominant, but I don't know, I guess I gotta pick a winner. I'd go with England. If it was France-Croatia, I think I'd say France. France has outplayed Argentina, Uruguay, a whole bunch of other teams, including Belgium. They've shocked everybody. They have great momentum as well. It'll be interesting to see, but it's really hard to pick a winner at this point because all teams have been playing so well, and one team is going to finish with a miraculous end to their dream World Cup. Anyways, let's talk about another big story, and that's Russia. Yes, the hosts of this year's World Cup. They played really well, and unfortunately their run came to an end against Croatia, who we mentioned earlier. And Russia, I think their most memorable moment was their penalty kick win against Spain. As I mentioned earlier, it's unfortunate for the losing team, in this case Spain. And Russia, they played really well. They did not miss a single shot in that penalty kick round. They played in front of a home crowd of over 81,000 strong in Moscow. It would have been great to see the home team win, but you never know. It was a great win, and Croatia earned it. They outplayed them late in the game. And now let's talk about another interesting topic, and that's Germany. The defending world champions missed out on the knockout stage this year. They were eliminated fast in the group stage, which I found really shocking. They lost to Mexico 1-0. They beat out Sweden 2-1, but that wasn't enough as they then were shut out again by South Korea 2-0. This is interesting because the past three now World Cup champions in the tournament before failed to reach the knockout stage in the following tournament. Italy in 2006 and then failed in 2010. Then you have Spain 2010, couldn't get past in 2014. Now you have Germany. It'll be interesting to see how this year's champion fares in the next tournament in Qatar. Speaking of the next tournament, one team I'd like to see back there is the United States. Yes. Unfortunately, we missed out on the tournament this year, which is a shocker. We're usually okay, but not as good compared to other countries such as Germany, Argentina, Brazil, who all shockingly missed the semifinals this year for the first time ever. None of those teams make it. Anyways, back to the United States. Because they didn't get any recognition this tournament, I'm going to talk about them a little bit, and I'm going to reflect on their last tournament appearance in 2014. Let's reflect on Clint Dempsey's goal in 30 seconds. 30 seconds into the game, they score against Ghana, upset them. That was crazy. That was a huge shocker. No one expected it. And then they ended up tying with Portugal, led by Cristiano Ronaldo, who shocked us in the end with an incredible breakaway goal to tie at 2-2. And then, unfortunately, United States, their run came to an end against Belgium, of all teams, in a thrilling overtime game. Belgium scored twice in that game, and they're up 2-0, but then the United States showed some heart late, some great grit, determination, and Jermaine Jones scored a great goal, and that got all the fans hyped and crazy, thinking, oh, we're praying for a miracle here. Let's go. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough. That was the last time we saw USA in the World Cup. But who knows? In 8 years from now, when the World Cup takes place in USA, Mexico, and Canada, you never know. That's a long way into the future, obviously, but you never know. I can't think of the last time when the home team, the host, won the World Cup. It's been a while, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And speaking of home teams in the World Cup, I was really shocked 4 years ago when Brazil lost 7-1. Yes, you heard me correctly, 7-1 to Germany. They lost their emotional leader, Neymar, in that game, and it showed. Without him, the team's just not the same. It was a meltdown. They lose big. Anyways, that was 4 years ago. Things have changed a lot since then. Brazil did pretty well this year, but they fell short to Belgium. It'll be interesting to see who comes out victorious this year. I can't wait. I hope you all are excited for the World Cup, and I certainly am too. Thank you for watching Sportshire. See you next time.